So, at the end of chapter 260, Gojo seemed to have returned just before Sukuna opened a domain expansion. When I saw this, I thought, okay, this had to be an illusion, signaling Sukuna's end being near. This must be the vision of Gojo ready to greet Sukuna in the afterlife. Surely Gojo hasn't actually been revived, right? Well, he's back, but it's actually Yuta using Kenjaku's curse technique to pilot his body. Yeah, I hate this. Alright, just before we continue, quick disclaimer. I know I will offend a lot of people with this, so I am prefacing. Listen up. This is my opinion and my opinion alone. This is a subjective take of mine, and it's even obvious by the title being the title of the video, which is me not liking it. Once again, this is only my opinion. If you don't agree, that's fine. I don't expect you to. Alright, there has been some conversation on what this means for Yuta and Gojo's characters. And in all honesty, I'm conflicted on that. I like the idea that Gojo is treated as a tool and as the strongest, even after his death, further cementing his dehumanization, which is great. At first, I wasn't a big fan of it, because I thought it was a slap to Gojo's face, but I think that's the point, and from that perspective, I think that it's brilliant. But for Yuta's character, I really don't like it. I think the idea of one of, if not the kindest and most caring person in Jujutsu Kaisen having to fall to the level of being a monster to beat Sukuna is honestly really interesting. But it's an interesting subversion of what you'd expect of shonen. But the core idea that this promotes is something I despise. It feels so insulting that these characters are having to throw away their humanity, succumbing to Sukuna's ideals, and in turn ensuring his victory even when he loses. Proving the main villain is right to beat him is horrible. I don't like the message at all, and I can acknowledge this is more of a personal taste. I find it ironic that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a direct opposition to this, where its core theme is humanity, and the JoJo's oppose the main villains who reject humanity. But for JJK not to do this, not to do something like this, it's just something I can't get on board with. I also don't like what this says for the cast as a whole. Gojo's goal was to abolish Jujutsu society, but also to cultivate a generation of sorcerers on par with him, so they could each stand on their own, not needing to rely on Gojo, and in turn being able to understand him. And despite the state of everyone in the cast at this point in the story, they were walking along the path Gojo wished him to. They made up for their lack in power by using their plans to kill Sukuna Kenjaku. Yuji just landed 9 black flashes and has a bunch of different curse techniques in his arsenal. Todo has come back into the fray with a much more broken Boogie Woogie. Each of these characters have been growing at a tremendously at a rapid rate. And yet Yuta using Gojo's body feels like it throws all this away. It feels so insulting to me as a reader. The characters, even after Gojo's death, they're still relying on him. For his character, this is great, but for the cast as a whole, this doesn't work for me. And it just honestly sucks. Alright, now for my main problem. From a logistical standpoint, Gota, let's just call him Gota. Gota versus Sukuna can end in 2 ways. Gota wins against Sukuna, or Gota loses against Sukuna. And frankly, both of these are god-awful in my opinion, and might put this arc over the line from just really okay to bad, for me, personally. Let me explain why both of these scenarios would be bad for me. In the scenario where Gota wins, it acts as a slap in the face to Yuji, and doesn't carry any thematic weight behind it. You could say that the kindest sorcerer beating the most selfish sorcerer is a great thing, but Yuta has thrown his humanity away, so maybe you could show that how Gojo was the strongest in the end, but because he eventually did beat Sukuna, but this isn't Gojo, this is Yuta and Gojo's body. As for Yuji, this just makes no sense. From chapters 256 to 260, Yuji has been built up to beating Sukuna with his 9 black flashes, his connection to Sukuna being revealed, Choso sacrificing himself for Yuji, and Todo finally showing up. All of this has basically been a crescendo of the final stage, where Yuji takes on Sukuna for the final time. The end even felt near when what I thought was a hallucination of Gojo appeared at the end of chapter 260. But now that Gota has come, he's taken Yuji's spotlight way too quickly, and if he wins, this would make no sense. Yuji is the main character. People have sacrificed themselves for him time and time again. His connection to Sukuna has been built up from chapter 1, so for Gota to kill him would be a massive slap in the face to Yuji. Yuta and Sukuna really don't have a connection, and their fight being the final one hasn't really been hinted at or built up to at all. Gota just kind of shows up without warning, and it's explained away with a flashback. Gota beating Sukuna would feel like a massive slap in the face to Yuji's growth and development. Yuji is basically living to beat Sukuna at this point, as he even says he'll eat anything to beat him before the 1 month time skip. This has been built up to for so long. For Gota, one of the most random plot twists to be the one to beat Sukuna would make no sense. It would feel like a subversion of this. It would feel like a subversion for the sake of being different, which is something that Giga does a lot for me. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't put it past him. If Gota loses, this would also be honestly more insulting at times than Gota winning. If Gota loses, this would make this twist even more random and would feel like such a waste of time. What's the point of Gota even showing up and taking Yuji's spotlight if he's gonna lose and Sukuna's gonna be passed back to Yuji? Even if Gota whittles down Sukuna's cursed energy and health, it might feel like even more pointless, and it opens the avenue for possibly another intervention, because maybe Sukuna still isn't taking this battle seriously. I don't even want to entertain the excuse that Gota showing up saved Yuji and Todo from dying to Sukuna's domain expansion, which I've seen used by fans a lot. And especially this is for the argument where, so personally I also think that this just steals Yuji's spotlight in the moment. So it's just, first, Sukuna did not need the domain expansion. It would have been as simple as Gege just not needing to write the domain expansion in. Or if this absolutely needed to happen, why not make the vision of Gojo signaling Sukuna being at death's door, and this would freak Sukuna out because he'd understand what this meant. And if it could make him lose control over his cursed energy for just a second or two, leaving Yuji and Todo room to push him, knowing he was about to pull another domain expansion. So knowing this, they could make sure Sukuna wouldn't get the chance to do it again. Gojo really didn't need to show up in this scenario, and if he loses, it would feel like really pointless because it's just delaying Yuji's victory unnecessarily. And if the worst case scenario is Gojo kind of wins, but Sukuna's like crawling away and like Yuji shows up to do the final blow, that would be that would just suck. It would suck. I don't see any way this going without me just being really irritated by how it turns out. Overall, I just don't like the introduction of Gota. It promotes an idea which I personally don't like. It feels like a regression in the cast's growth, and it unnecessarily takes the spotlight away from Yuji. But again, this is just my opinion. So let me know what you think of my thoughts, what you think of your thoughts, and generally feel free to share anything in the comments below, as long as they're on topic and respectful. No point in getting toxic over a manga, because, come on, this is just my opinion, and it's generally more fun to be civil. Anyway, this is probably enough yapping for me for the day, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll all join me next time, and goodbye. Alright, if you don't know, this is just an outro of sorts, where most YouTubers will have like some music playing in the background while you click off the video. I'm just gonna ramble. Feel free to stick around if you want to listen. If you do, thank you very much. Anyway, so what has been going on in my life? I have no idea. It's been a week since I finished exams, so yay, yippee me. I'm free finally. I was reading Dragon Ball. It's finally getting good. I've got into the beginning of the Piccolo arc. I'm surprised. So, spoilers for the Dragon Ball. Skip to this timestamp, if I put it up on screen, of after the Dragon Ball segment. So, Krillin just died. I'm surprised. I swear I've seen him later. So, my guess is either they'll collect the Dragon Balls, and first Piccolo will get Eternal Youth. Then Krillin will be put in frozen in like ice, so it's stasis chamber, and they'll get the Dragon Balls a year later, and they'll resurrect him. That's my guess. And maybe they'll skip over that and go to the time skip, to the Saiyan saga. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, other than that, I don't really have anything else. Yeah, that's weird. I don't really have anything else. I mean, I've been drawing occasionally. I've been developing my JoJo mimicking art style because I really like the JoJo art style. I want to do that kind of stuff more. So that's all I've been doing really. Yeah, there's nothing else. I know I was gone for a month. I'm thinking of all the videos I have right now. I just finished the Gojo one. I'm recording it, and when I edit, I'll post it. I have other video ideas, like where Yuji can go to become stronger, and Billy from Undead Unlock versus JJK. I think that's a really interesting one, but that takes research. I'm kind of putting that off. I want to do power scaling videos, but I can't think of any power scaling thing. I even searched online, but like, what makes me annoyed by what people think about this? What can I make a video about? I haven't really found anything, which is annoying. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Oh yeah, during exam season, I watched JJK and MHA, and good god, good god, I fell in love with My Hero Academia all over again. I want to put it in my top 10 anime, but I feel like I'm still in my rose tinted glasses stage, which I have after every time I finish an anime. So what I'm gonna do, I'm waiting a month to like let it wear off and just sit on it. As for JJK, I honestly I wasn't a big fan of it. Season 1, it was just okay. It was kind of boring. I wasn't that interested. Season 2, Hidden Infantry, amazing, perfect, near perfect. I loved it. Shibuya, honestly, this is a hot take. I wasn't a big fan of it. I think up to Choso versus Yuji, great, but after that, it got really tedious to watch. I just didn't care about the Dagon fight, and every time I got to the next fight, I just didn't care. Even the Maito stuff, it was cool, but I just didn't care. And Nobara's death felt insulting. I don't know if I talked about this, but I forgot what I talked about in the previous video. Anyway, yeah. I just wasn't a big fan of JJK, and the movie was also very tedious to get through. I wasn't a big fan of it. I don't know what happened. I loved JJK up till Hidden Infantry after it came out, but during Shibuya when it was airing, I just like started like get less and less attached to it. Then I read the manga, and I was even less. Why am I talking about this now? The thing about it, I'm having a very frustrating time with JJK. Why do I read it still? Honestly, I've stuck with it so long. I might as well just see it to its grave, right? And might as well. Might as well. Why not? And it's easy to talk about. I have infinite content with how much I can whine about it. But yeah, other than that, I should probably let you go. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.